Alright. Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Late Night Tips. In this week's episode we're going to look into making a DIY MIDI foot controller for my Boss RC202 looper. Let's get right into it. So first of all, this is not a video about the cheapest MIDI DIY foot controller, because in order for this to work with RC202, you're going to need an Ensoniq MIDI 4 or a similar USB to MIDI host. Of course, if you just want to use it with a computer, with Ableton for example, it's going to work beautifully. And if you already own the Ensoniq MIDI 4, it's going to turn out to be a pretty inexpensive MIDI foot controller. When I first got the RC202 looper, I fell in love with it because it was so versatile, so much fun to play with. But one thing I was missing from it was the ability to control it with my foot when playing guitar. So then I knew that I needed a foot switch that would allow me to perform all the functionalities I got used to when playing with the Ditto X4 looper from TC Electronic. So these functionalities were track 1, record and overdub, then undo for track 1, and the same for track 2. Record, overdub, undo, and then stop all. All in all, it's 7 messages, but since record and overdub are on the same message, I knew that I needed a foot switch with 5 buttons. So I looked into different options and I found out that most of them were either too expensive or, as is the case with the Behringer FCB 1010 controller, had too big of a footprint for my studio. That was until a friend of mine suggested using a Korg nanopad and modifying it to serve as a foot switch. What a brilliant idea! So I got the nanopad 2 from Korg, and I decided to go with the second iteration of this controller because it has 16 pads. The first iteration had only 12. First, let's look at the hardware. I decided to devote 2 pads to each message so that it's easy to hit them. I was concerned at first that it would send the messages twice, but it has never done so, so it worked for me. I just cut down an old credit card and stuck it to the pads using a double-sided bond tape. Quick note, I had to clean the pads with a nail polish remover first to make it really stick, and then I just added furniture pads on top of it. As simple as that. So let's move on to the software side of things. I consulted the parameter guide, and on page 7 there are specific CC messages that the RC202 receives and responds to. These are CCs from 80 to 84, 5 messages total, which is perfect. And you can assign those messages to anything that you want from the list of functions also listed below on page 7 of the parameter guide. The functionalities that I was interested in were 1, 2, 7, 8, and 16. That's all I needed. So then I set up the nanopad using the Korg Control Editor app in the following fashion. Pads 1 and 2 respond to CC80, pad 3 it's empty, pad 4 and 5 it's CC81, pad 6 is empty, pad 7 and 8 CC82, pad 9 empty, pad 10 and 11 CC83, pad 12 and 13 empty, pad 14 and 15 CC84, and then pad 16 empty. All of them communicate on MIDI channel 13, which is the channel I reserved for the RC202. Then I assign the CCs to the following actions. So first of all, I go to Setup, and then I go to Control in here. Then I press this little knob in here to go to CC80, and this is assigned to 7, which is undo redo for track 1. Then CC81, it's 16, which is stop all. Then 82, it's 8, which is undo redo for track 2. Then I go to 83, which is 1, which is record and overdub for track 1. And 84 is 2, which is record and overdub for track 2. As simple as that. Then I press exit, and that's it. So this pad is record and overdub for track 1. And this one is record and overdub for track 2. These are in the lower row because when the nanopad is on the floor, these are closest to me and more frequently used. So these two are undos respectively for track 1 and 2, and the middle one is stop. Works beautifully. And then I just plug my nanopad into my Ensoniq MIDI 4 and send a DIN out to my RC202. Alright, so that's it for this episode of Late Night Tips. Let me know if you have any other solutions for MIDI foot switches. I would love to see those comments. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing to catch more tutorials, more jams, and more opinions. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great night and take care.